Hello lovely people. So today's video for the Lovely Utopers is tips on feeling connected to stuff. Do you want to feel connected too? Come here. Come on the video. No, you don't get to go down. You have to at least say hello. Hello. So anyway, I figured there were a couple of things because I don't know about you, but like the heat lingering for so long, maybe you had some weird weather or like more and more common weather, but with global warming, but you know what I mean, like it didn't feel the right way you expected it to feel because it was too warm, too smoky, too whatever. And so it was kind of a struggle to get into this time of the year's feeling. I definitely feel like I'm kind of like on the border with it. So these are just some things that I do to feel more connected to the time of the year and to my craft when I'm just not feeling grounded in that strong bond. Tip number one, go outside. I don't care what your weather is. Go outside. I think there is something really important to the fact that maybe it's getting colder, maybe it's still hot, whatever the weather is, wherever you are, it is good, I think, to take notice of what it actually is and feel if there is a breeze, if there's not, the sun, the chill, the rain, whatever it is, getting outside when you can, especially as the daylight is either increasing or decreasing, feeling what actual status that the outdoors is, the flux, the change, because this is about the time where everything is slightly changing around the world, even if it is in different directions. What is the change like for you? Go outside and just appreciate it. Try to feel connected if you can, or just take notice of the outdoors in its current space. Just get outside, it's good for you. Number two, check in with your body. Sometimes basic things. Have you ate enough today? Have you slept a good amount? Have you drank some water recently at all in the last week? Like, there are times when you are feeling disconnected and really you're feeling burnt out, tired, dead, just need to freaking take a minute. You feel 10 times more connected when your body's not running on empty. So do a little check-in with yourself. How do you feel? Are you in pain? Are you super tense? Any of that stuff, and make sure that at least all your basic needs have been covered for the day. Like just do that. And then see if you still feel as disconnected as you used to. If you're still connected to your body, then you can feel connected to anything else. See what I'm saying? Number three, check into what media you are currently consuming. I'm talking music, I'm talking shows, I'm talking podcasts, I'm talking social medias, whatever's you're doing. Make sure that it aligns with the vibe of the feeling you actually want to have. I've talked about this before with my witchy inspiration video about how I often find myself not feeling inspired, but I know I have to curate that inspiration to really get going and moving. And I was actually watching a very interesting video, not a witchy one, more of just if you're a more scattered brain person in general and you're not good at sticking to routines, I'll link it down below. But I was watching this video and I was like, you know what, this rings so true, and it's something that I have applied all throughout my life. And if I make a more conscious effort applying it, it's perfect. It's curating that inspiration, curating that urge to dive into something, curating that urge to really get lost in that deep flow state of when you're feeling super connected to things. And so doing that inspiration is really important. So if you're wanting, what music do you want to listen to? I have certain spooky playlists that I either curate myself because I have a certain type of vibe I really want, or I go onto Spotify or onto YouTube. I really love listening to old like Halloween spooky songs from like the 1930s. Chef's kiss. I don't know why, but that during my work day just like gets me right in the spooky mood. All for it. And then, like I said with the witchy inspiration video, it's watching those things, curate them, watch your cozy movies, watch your more witchy inclined things, maybe queue up a playlist of witchy channels on YouTube to watch, or find more. Don't let social media, if that's where you're spending a lot of your time, curate for you. You go and curate your stuff little. Like take a little time, put a bunch of stuff in order, maybe in the tags or the searches, search things like witchy things, a certain topic, maybe herbalism, what have you, whatever you're trying to connect more with. Make sure you're actually consuming things and filling your life with things that media-wise that actually will push you to do that. 4, yes, I got that right, number 4. Think of one witchy activity, if it's connected to your craft or whatever you want to do, whatever you're trying to connect to, the earth or whatever, make sure there's a certain activity that you like, you know, you get more inspired, you know it's better, but for some reason you can't seem to bring yourself to do it. Break that down step by step by step by step by step to stupid steps and get the first step rolling. And by that I mean like lay it out, get it all set up. For me, I really know I love to pull tarot more regularly. Getting connected with my personal deck and having that connection is so important to me, and yet I honestly could not tell you the last time I didn't pull a tarot card that wasn't digitally on my phone. Not helpful. Or I reviewed draws that I've done from before, my yearly spreads, stuff like that, but I haven't sat down and just done a quick little thing since probably Mabon, which is, or Mabon, however you say it, you know, the autumn equinox. It was that's too long. No, I should be doing more of that. I feel so much more connected when I'm attempting to divine things from the beyond. So for me, that's putting my deck on my kitchen table where I do so much other stuff, so it's right there in front of me. Putting my altar cloth that I use when I'm pulling stuff out in front, making sure the lighter is right next to it with the incense that I love to light during the time, making sure there is already water in the kettle because I love to have a little nice spooky tea at night. So having a pre-filled water with tea bag, teacup, altar cloth, all of this right there together on the table means I don't have to think about going and gathering the stuff. I walk into my apartment, I see that right there on the table, setup's perfect, I don't need anything else. It's all set up ready for me to go. And when I see it, it will hopefully trigger me to go, oh yeah, I could sit down for 10 minutes or a little longer if I want to do a full meditation and journal with it, and I can pull some tarot and see what's up. And that's another thing which leads into number 5, which is carve out, if ideally, an hour of a nice activity, and a full activity where you're involved in pulling the tarot, doing a little candle spell. Could be 5 minutes, could be 10 minutes, could be a full hour, so you really get and vibe the moment. And make that your, like, put every ounce of weird creative time into it. I think so often we think of a full seasonal aspect of like, oh, I should be doing all these things all the time. All of September, October, November should be nothing but fall and vibed goodness all the time, and then it slowly starts to slip away from you and you realize that all these fun tasks that you really wanted to do, you don't get to do, or you just have to let it kind of slip by. So no, carve out some time, however much time you can, and make that 5 minutes as freaking full of that feeling and connection to either your craft or the season as freaking possible. Kind of like how I just said with my tarot, where I laid all the things out. The reasons I went through all those different things is because a pumpkin cinnamon tea situation mixed in with a incense that smells like dragon's blood, ooh, that'll get me. With my altar cloth right there with maybe another candle burning in the background, I have now just created a full ambiance situation, and I can sit down and I'm gonna feel hella spooky in that moment, versus if I just had pulled the tarot and done the thing. Like, that still would have been connected more, that still would have gotten me probably more in the mood, but creating that full thing for that, like, all of my effort into that like 10-15 minutes that I'm gonna pull this tarot and sip on this tea and vibe out, that is way more of a thing for me. And then finally, as always with these tips, number 6, if you're really not feeling it, if all of these things feel like way too much, or life gets really hectic and busy at times. I have noticed that this month, between family coming to visit, I've got friends getting married this month, and I'm somewhat involved with the planning process of the wedding, along with Youtober, along with my comic, along with like elections and all these other things that I want to make sure I give proper time to ingredients. I have overstretched myself, and one of the reasons I feel I'm not as connected is because I haven't given myself the space to be, and there's not going to be space to be in the month of October. Unfortunately, my schedule's too jam-packed, and that's just very unfortunate, but it is what it is. And instead of like beating myself up for that, right, I'm gonna let it be. I'm gonna let it just chill out. It doesn't have to be too dramatic or anything about it. Just be like, all right, yeah, you overdrawn. You are worn out socially, creatively, all of the things. As October 31st comes around, as the wonderful Samhain pours in, I know on that day specifically, I will definitely carve out time because I've never missed a Samhain ritual, and I refuse to do so this year. But everything else, if I don't feel as connected during it, that's fine. It is what it is. and try not to give yourself too much of a hard time on it. Some days we just don't feel as connected. Some years we don't feel as connected. Some seasons, that will flux, as will the rest of things. Change and chaos is inevitable. You will feel connected again. Just because you don't feel connected this time doesn't mean that every subsequent fall, which you think you do, whatever, is gonna feel as disconnected as that, right? So, anyway, that was today's video. I will see you guys in the next one. So, bye-bye.